Alright everyone, here's a video of my Royal Tiger Imports Cutdown Berdan 2. So let's start from the left and go forwards. So here's the buttstock. Has a rear sling swivel. I haven't seen any of these with a rear sling swivel. I've seen some that were drilled and had a hole through the back of the stock, but this is something new. We can flip it over. And I do believe that is a rack number. I'm not sure if RTI put that on there or if that's Ethiopian, but let's keep going. And here's the inside of the stock. It actually looks pretty good. It's just super dirty, has dust and dirt and old cobwebs. A little tiny crack at the rear of the stock. That's no big deal. I can fill that in. Moving forwards, wood gets a little bit lighter. Nothing super interesting. And we can move into some of the other parts. Here's the trigger guard. It's just really dirty and rusty. I'm gonna need to clean this thing pretty good. And actually it came with a cleaning rod, which is really weird because these were cut down. So what's really cool is actually when they cut these down for the cleaning rod, you can see if that'll focus. They just took the threaded end and they just cut it off, and then they kind of just rounded this out. It's not really wanting to focus, but it's kind of weird. Moving forwards, here's our bolt. Just really dirty. Once again, it's all there though. So firing pin, extractor, all the screws and whatnot. And then moving forward, it actually had both barrel bands, which is really cool. Here's the rear one, and then the front one, the sling swivel. It doesn't have the side-mounted volley sights still on it, so that's kind of a bummer, but what can you expect? Nose cap, it's just the standard nose cap. And let's get to the action. So, once again, just super dirty. When I actually took this apart initially, the bolt would just slide right out of the action, and it's not supposed to do that. You're actually supposed to push down on the ejector right there, but it was so dirty that the ejector wasn't sticking up at all, so just kind of have to clean all these parts out. And then it all looks pretty nice in there. It's just really rusty and really dirty. And then the rear sight, it doesn't have the ladder piece to it, like the little height selector. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But what the Ethiopians did is they just took this thing and they beat it down into the groove right here. You can see it's not very even. It's kind of flat right here, then goes up and then back down, and it's actually cracked right there. So I'm not really going to be moving that up or down anyway, but thought that was kind of neat. It still has some of its original Russian markings on it. I'm not sure what some of these mean. That might be a symbol for the Tsar or something, or maybe the factory where it was made. Not completely sure. And some more marks on it. Some of y'all watching this might know what they mean. I need to research it. And then some Ethiopian markings right here. Not sure what that says either, but I'll have to research it. And then moving forwards, just all kinds of dirty below the wood line. And then you get to the front sight here, which is just standard dovetail. And then, so what was kind of weird about this was some people were saying that they took a wire brush to them. So above, you'll see where this is in the white and this is all dark down here. But some of this stuff up top is still slightly darkened. You can see right there where the let's see right there where the rust is, where the barrel band was sitting on top of it. So you kind of move down, and it kind of has almost like a cold blue look to it, especially as you get down here towards the muzzle end. So I'm not sure if RTI did that or what, but it just doesn't look super in the white. Now if you look on top of the receiver here, it's really in the white, so not quite sure. It's okay though. And then I look down the muzzle. I can't really show that easily on camera, and the rifling is still there. It looks very nice and pronounced, but it's just very dirty. So I'm going to be cleaning this out, and I'll update y'all once I get some more cleaning done. All right, to wipe down the metal with on here where it's all rusty and dirty, I'm actually going to try some goof off, because this stuff, it works really good when trying to remove epoxy and just old gunked up glue and stuff. So I figured it might work on this. This stuff is really thin, similar to lighter fluid almost. Let's give it a try. So I can tell in the back half right here that some of this grease is cosmoline. It's coming off. It's very difficult to come off. I've actually been scraping at it with this brush right here. So it's coming along good. The goof off did really good. You can see a lot of the crud is getting gone. There's still a little bit of rust left, but I think I'll take some 3-in-1 or some CLP to that rust, and it should come right off. All right, so I've been scrubbing on the action. It's looking nice and clean now. Still got a little bit more work to do, especially on the other side here where it's got a little bit more rust to it. But I think most of the cosmoline's pretty much gone. Got to clean inside there where all the trigger mechanism is. And so looking at some of these smaller parts here, they're harder to clean by hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the barrel bands, all these parts, and put them in my ultrasonic cleaner right here. Just Harbor Freight Special. Set them all down in there. Take the nose cap and spring, put them down in there. Let's see, sorry, these pieces. And I'm gonna fill it up with water and add a little bit of, I think, Simple Green to it, just a little diluted solution, just to clean a lot of the gunk off. Not so much to where it will harm any bluing. I don't even think Simple Green can harm bluing, but I use it to clean rifle brass, and it does the job pretty well. So let's get to it. All right, so I've started cleaning the rust a little more, and it's coming off pretty good. The only thing that's left is, you know, little bits of pits and stuff where the rust is eating through the metal just a little bit. And what I used was a little bit of CLP on a steel wool cloth. Now I know some people say not to use steel wool because of the microfibers, but with the CLP mixed in, it kind of keeps everything together on the steel wool so it doesn't shed everywhere. And it's looking pretty good. I made sure to go light so I didn't affect the bluing at all. So it's looking pretty good. And then the parts in the ultrasonic are still going. Running the heater in there. Yeah, look how dirty that water is. Pretty nasty stuff. So I'm just going to keep cleaning the metal on this. I've also been using a nylon brush and a brass brush too. And let's get to it. All right, everybody. So I took the parts out of the ultrasonic cleaner and I laid them out right here. Obviously, I've already I've dealt with them because when they come out from there, they're completely degreased and they're prone to flash rusting. So I oiled the trigger guard piece up my hand with this. Obviously, you can see all the crap that came off of it. And then I actually took this cup with the smaller pieces that would be a little bit harder to do by hand, and I poured a little bit of oil in the bottom of it. And then I actually took some Buttstock right here and just took some, sprayed it in there like that. Put that back, and then just kind of shake it around, let them soak in the oil solution. And so I'm just gonna leave them on the desk. Now I think that since the action has been, action and barrel's been taken care of, except for cleaning the inside of it, which I'll get to in a little bit. I need to work on the stock now. So I'm thinking I'm gonna take some mineral spirits. That's what a lot of people use on their surplus guns, get rid of cosmoline and junk on a rag. And I'm gonna have at the inside of there, I kind of want to preserve this rack number. So we're gonna try our best to do that without removing it. So I'm gonna be doing that. I'll be right back. All right, so I've cleaned off the stock just a little bit. I hit it with some mineral spirits. Then after that, a little bit of soap. And it's doing pretty good. It's a lot cleaner than what it was. You can really see the wood on the right side here. It looks really nice. I'm not sure what type of original finish the Russians used on these. They might have used a linseed oil, maybe a wax type of finish over top of it, kind of like Renaissance wax. Not really sure. I'm going to look into it more so when I refinish this wood, it'll be correct. Alright, so we're out here in the garage. I brought the barreled action out with me. This bore is actually so dirty that the first thing I'm going to do is take this thing full of hot water mixed with Dawn dish soap and a funnel, and then pour water from the chamber in down here, run it all the way out through the barrel and into this old tea gallon jug right here. And we're gonna take a look and see how dirty the water is. I expect it's gonna be super dirty. This is a common way most black powder cartridge shooters clean their guns. This is even how I cleaned my friend Swiss Vetterli out when we finished shooting it. So fortunately I don't have a tripod or anything, so I can't film me doing this, so I'll get back to y'all once I finish. Alright, so I just finished cleaning out the bore with the water and soap, and take a look. It's pretty dirty, but actually not too bad. Most of the time it would be a lot darker actually, so it's pretty good. I don't think there was much powder fouling in the bore, which is good. Kept a lot of the rust out of it since it was already looking good. So now I'm gonna run some patches through it and see how they look. Alright, so here's what our patches are looking like. These were the last couple. You can see all that rust and everything. Pretty sure this one was the last one. You pretty much got all the rust out of there. You're not gonna get this thing perfectly clean. Those are the first couple. A little bit of powder fouling and dirt in there with the hot water, and the soap got most of it out. If I used some Ed's Red, it probably would have worked a little better, but don't have any of that made up right now. Look at how nasty those are. And then the last one's looking like that, so I think it's pretty clean. Now I'm gonna show y'all what the rifle looks like now, put it back together and everything, and let's get to it. Alright, here's the rifle all cleaned up. You can see it's all looking good now. It doesn't have any of that crud on it. I haven't put any oils or anything on the wood yet. I'm still gonna do some more research and figure out what I should put on there to make it right, since this is an original, surplus piece. I'm not sure what the Ethiopians would have put on it. They could have put anything from tung oil to boiled linseed oil, anything on their wax. So it's all looking good, and the bore actually isn't too bad. Let me get a lead bullet and kind of show y'all. So this is a 44 caliber bullet, 430 in diameter. You can take it to the muzzle here. Look at there. Fits right into the ogive right there. Flip it around. Yeah, I mean, it's right in the ogive, so I definitely think a 44 caliber bullet will work. I'm not exactly sure what these used. I know they used a heavy paper patched bullet, but I'm not sure if the diameter of the bullet and paper patch, I'm not sure if it was 430, 427, 432. So I'll just have to do some more research and get some cases for this and just see what works in what chambers and what doesn't. Let's look at the other side. Flip it around. There's the rack number. Looking good. Couple little dings right there. No big deal though. And then nose cap, cleaning rod. I'm surprised this thing had the cleaning rod. That's really cool. Was it worth the $500 I paid for it? I'd say so. The bore was super nice. It has all the parts, well, except one. Really kind of disappointed that the rear sight has been mashed like that, but can't really do anything about that. And it's missing the slider for it, but it's okay. It's all still there. The rear sight still functions perfectly, and it hasn't been scrubbed of all of its original markings either. It has the Russian markings and the serial numbers, and none of the serial numbers match except for the barrel and the receiver. The bolt's different, the cleaning rod's different, and the bolt is different to the receiver, but the two bolt parts match, which is really cool. And the receiver to the barrel, like I said. But it's really cool, and you can barely see in there, but that's where the original, I think, Russian manufacturing marks were in there. You can barely see them. And then the Ethiopian marks, so that's really cool. But I think that pretty much sums it up, at the end of the video, I'll put a picture of the box, because the box that it came in was actually really good. It had it was packed in there really nice, had lots of packing foam, and the ends of the box were taped over so the muzzle couldn't come bashing through if it was dropped or anything or handled rough. It was really good looking. But hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'll catch y'all later.